7 minutes gone past the 7 on the AM side. We must apologize for starters. I mean, starting the show behind schedule, and that's because we had one or two things to lay our hands on in the studios. Good morning to you, dear listener, on the other side of the radio. It's a brand new week, it's a brand new month, and it feels good to be in the studios this beautiful Monday morning. I want to believe that you all slept and woke up well, all right? Today is the second day in the month of June 2025. And I tell you for a fact that this year 2025 has been pretty, fast. The pace has been very, very fast. I mean, we are now, in the 6th month of the year. That is to say that we have how many months left to beat 2025? Farewell or goodbye, if you like. My name is Omoife Peace Osemere, and of course, this is the Eagles Morning Rise Breakfast Show, the early morning booster that you need to kickstart your day and your week by extension, all right? It's packed with a lot for your listening pleasure. We started off with the news, and this hour, we're going to be taking a look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers. I will also share with you 10 things that you ought to know this beautiful Monday morning. Well, it does not end there. You get to call in to share your 2 cents. Tell us what you make of these headlines making the rounds across the national dailies this morning. And of course, the next hour, which is the 8 o'clock hour, Vicky Vic, the only sports minister on radio, will be right here in the studios to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings in the world of sport. I'm sure that he's got a lot of updates really to share with us this morning. When I say us, I mean all of us, because I'm really interested. I would like to keep tabs on, sports on Eagles wings this morning. Of course, we are aware of what happened to some athletes, all right, over the weekend on their way back from the sports festival. A very sad development right there. And at this point in time, all we can say is may their souls rest in peace. But it's good to know that Vicky Vic will be in the studios the next hour. That is the 8 o'clock hour this morning. And, you also get calling to share your 2 cents as well. I'm sure that you are sport lovers. You've actually missed Vicky Vic so much. And, of course, shortly after that, or no, just after the, Sport on Eagles Wings hour, it will be time for us to talk politics and current affairs on Eagles Outlook, right? And the focus this morning is going to be on the power sector. Yes, we're going to be beaming our searchlight on Nigeria's power sector. And we understand, dear listener, that the federal government is actually planning on, deploying 7 million smart meters nationwide. Federal government plans to deploy 7 million smart meters nationwide. And according to the federal government, all of this is aimed at bringing to an end the era of estimated billing in Nigeria. But let's see how that goes. We're going to be having a conversation with an energy systems consultant, the person of Dr. Peter Piper, at the 9 o'clock. And of course, with a stretch into what used to be the Midday Extra, at 10 a.m., it'll be time for the general open banter. And like I'd always say, I will not let the cat out of the bag. I will just have to, keep you on the edges of your seat. Wait up until 10 a.m. this morning so you find out what the focus is going to be on. On the general open banter. All right? And at exactly 12 noon, we will be handing over to Cassandra. She would be your guide on the Sunnyside show much later today. All of these, dear listener, will be accompanied with the very, very best of music. Very quickly, I'd like to greet the Yorubas in their local dialect by saying Ekaro. And of course, the Hausas would say Inakwana. Well, someone actually corrected me recently by saying I should stop saying Lahi Alo, and then I should say Lafi Alo. That Lafi Alo is the standard Hausa. I really don't know if I'm going to get used to that anytime soon, because I spent a number of years in South State and they would say Lahi Alo, so please bear with me, all right? And of course the Igbos would say Otutuoma. The good people of Akwa Ibom and Cross River Calabar, that's the Efiks and the Ibibios, would say Amesiere. And then you come all the way to Kogi State, where the Galas would say Olodudu, right? Our host community right here, the FCT original inhabitants would say Agife, that is the Baggies, right? And of course, the good people of Isoko Nation in Delta State, Nigeria, we would say Emamoriakeo. Okay, I know that we have, an addition, right? On the show. So, Cassandra's people, that is the Thief tribe in Benue State, will say Ndeve. And we also have the Untokon tribe. I mean, I just have to have them, represented on the show before I get summoned. The Untokon tribe, still in Benue State, by the way, they actually fall under the Domas. They would say, Ite. I think this is more like it. Yep. Thank you all so much for joining us on the show. And to the average man, the average Nigerian on the street, I'd like to say, Una, good morning. Welcome on board. This is the Eagles Morning Rise Breakfast Show right here on Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. Apparently, I'm going to be running solo this morning, probably this hour. I hope to have Udwag Daniel join me subsequently. He's having some sort of emergency to deal with this morning. So let me quickly intimate you on 10 things that you need to know this morning, dear listener. We're starting off with Governor Alex Oti, who has declared his second tenure in office rests in the hands of God. Okay, so he stated this at the weekend during a grand civic reception and appreciation ceremony organized by the Oha Isiala Ngwa people of Isiala Ngwa North and South local government areas in recognition of his performance across the state, especially in those local government areas. Well, coming from who actually knows his onion and he knows the place of God, he is saying that, look, his second tenure actually rests in the hands of the Lord God Almighty. All right. And away from that one, suspected thugs hired by a parent of a student of Complete Child Development College, Aule Akure, in Ondo State, reportedly beat up the vice principal of the school for preventing his son from cheating in the ongoing West Africa Examination Council, that's the WAEC exams. Now, the vice principal, Mr. Rotifa, was said to have prevented the student from cheating during the exam. And all the parent of that child could do was to hire thugs to go beat up the vice principal. You talk about moral decadence in our society. It speaks volumes, really, but I'm sure it's something that we're going to be chewing on subsequently. Now, the suspended senator representing Kogi Central Senatorial District of Kogi State, Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, will appear in court on Tuesday as summoned. Now, this was confirmed by the lead counsel, West Idahosa, on Sunday. Idahosa, however, expressed uncertainty about whether the federal government planned to arraign her on Tuesday. And away from that one, the commander of United States Africa Command, General Michael Langley, has raised the alarm over growing efforts by extremist groups and terrorists in the Sahel to gain access to West Africa's coastline, describing recent attacks in Nigeria, the wider Sahel, and the Lake Chad Basin as deeply troubling. Langley warned that terrorist access to the coast would significantly boost their capacity for smuggling and arms trafficking. Away from that, we move on to Bayelsa State, where the State Police Command has launched a manhunt for a suspected internet fraudster after the body of an unidentified young girl was found in a hotel in the Bogene area of Yenagoa, Bayelsa State capital. Now, the incident, which a source who sought his identity not to be disclosed said happened on Saturday, has raised concerns in the community. Right? And now the Lagos State government on Sunday warned Alagbarago market traders of possible closure if they failed to comply with the environmental rules of a state within 24 hours. The Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, said this while speaking with journalists after an inspection of the Alagbarago market and some other areas in the state. All right, now the Labour Party National Caretaker Committee, led by Senator Nenadi Usman, has accused the presidency and Labour Party factional chairman Julius Abure of orchestrating the ongoing crisis within the party. The committee alleged that both Abure and key figures within the presidency were working to destabilize the Labour Party and weaken Obi's 2027 presidential prospects. Talking about the LUP, Labour Party, the ongoing crisis has been, claims and counterclaims right there. Now, the All Progressives Congress has dismissed the allegations by former Minister of Youth and Sports Development Solomon Dalong, alleging that a powerful cabal has taken over President Bola Tinubu's government. Now, the National Secretary of the APC, Ajibola Basiru, criticized Dalong's credibility performance as a former minister. Well, the ninth thing that I would like you to know this morning, dear listener, would be the fact that Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf has extended heartfelt condolences to the families of victims who lost their lives in an auto accident that claimed 22 lives and left several others seriously injured. The victims, who were mostly in their youthful age, were returning home on Saturday as Kano's contingent from the National Sport Festival in Ogun State when their bus fell off a bridge some kilometers from Kano. Now may their souls rest in peace. The last thing here would be that at least 9 passengers have been killed by improvised explosive devices, that's the IEDs, planted by Boko Haram terrorists in a Meirari village in Guzamala local government area of Borno State. Meirari village is located about 18 kilometers from Mongunu local government area and 119 kilometers away from Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. Well, there you have it on 10 things that you need to know this morning, dear listener. That being said, let us quickly take a look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers this morning. It's going to be a smart read. I've got the Punch newspaper, I've got the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, the Daily Trust, the Guardian, the Vanguard, and of course the Nation newspaper to look at. Starting off with the Punch newspaper this morning, dear listener, the big news story right there on the front page says, Green Toll. States move to evacuate flood zones. Now, right underneath it says Niger buries 153. States brace for heavy rains. Citizens plead for action. Mokwa survivors fear diseases outbreak. A lot is going on right now in Niger State, all right? And our hearts are with those who actually lost, their loved ones, and also people who are displaced at this point in time. It's really a lot to contend or to even deal with as we speak. You find details of our story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Nigeria's petrol price 55% below West African average. This statement is credited to Dangote. Nigeria's petrol price 55% below West African average. You find details on page 34. Defamation is the kicker. Natasha to appear in court on Tuesday. That's on page 7. And then on page 33, 7 banks' reserves with CBN surged to 18.8 trillion naira. You find details of our story on page 33 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And I see this one right here on page 7. Terrorists eyeing Nigeria, West Africa coastlines. This statement is credited to the United States. You find details on page 7. And NDLEA intercepts Saudi-bound pilgrims with drugs. NDLEA intercepts Saudi-bound pilgrims with drugs. Details on page 5. I don't know, is there really a day? There can never be a day that would come on here to look at the front pages of Nigerian newspapers without hearing, a report or getting the report from the NDLEA. Kudos to the NDLEA. Right? And that's on page 5, by the way. Moving on to page 9, withheld allocation is the kicker. Oshun taps project funds to pay local government workers. I like to take that again. Withheld allocation is the kicker. Oshun taps project funds to pay local government workers. You find details on page 9 of the Punch newspaper this morning. All right, I see this story right here. It's just a photograph with a breakdown, and you see the photograph of the president right there, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. God help me, please. I was about to say Muhammad Buhari. All right, it has to do with the trade and economic policies of President Bola Tinubu, and this is somewhat credited to the Nigeria Customs Service, right? Anyway, you take a look at that, at your leisure. I'll leave it there this morning for the Punch newspaper. And the Nigerian Tribune newspaper is up next. Manufacturers are lamenting, mounting challenges. That is the big news story on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 riders underneath that headline. The first one says 767 manufacturing companies shut down in 2023. Over 18,000 jobs lost in 2024. Over 18,000 jobs lost in 2024. Imported raw materials surged by 118%. Spending on alternative energy hits 1.11 trillion naira in 2024. You find all of that on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Now, you look at the post-COVID-19 era, and you compare everything that is going on in Nigeria, especially to what had happened in the year 2019 and year 2020. Are we really making progress, or we're just beating round circles? Is it safe to say that we've not recovered from the shocks that actually came with COVID-19? But when you look at other economies, world economies, have they recovered or not? All right. Like I said before, you find details of our story on page 6. And then federal government mandates employees compensation scheme for public workers. And you'll see this right underneath that headline. It says NSITF joins federal head of civil service to sensitize civil servants. That's on page 3. And Kano accident is the kicker. Fatigue, excessive speeding caused the death of 21 athletes. This is coming from the Federal Road Safety Corps, and you find details on page 2. All right. NDLA busts syndicate sponsoring pilgrims with cocaine to Hajj. NDLA busts syndicate sponsoring pilgrims with cocaine to Hajj. It speaks volumes, if you ask me. That's right there on the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. FAC allocation to state up by over 6% in 2 years. This statement is coming from the presidency, and you find details on page 2. Polling agency releases results of political trends survey in Oshun. You find that one on page 22. And how over 60 airlines folded up in 3 decades. How over 60 airlines went under, in 3 decades. This is according to an investigation, by the way. That's on page 27. Nigeria loses $8.8 billion in annual revenue to informal sector. This is coming from the AFDB, and that's on page 6. And Dangote Refinery can meet region's petroleum needs. ECOWAS president talking there. You find details on page 27, and that's just going to be about the size of the headlines that will be taken from the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. A quick look at the Daily Trust. Auto crash is the kicker. Last moments of Kano 22. Auto crash, that is the kicker. Last moments of Kano 22, talking about the athletes that actually lost their lives right there in Kano State. You find details of our story on pages 4 and 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. All right. And the rest is just a photo splash talking about Governor Buni's second term in office, how he's been able to elevate service delivery across Yobe State. A snapshot of key projects and programs right there on the front page of a Daily Trust newspaper. I'll leave it there and move on very quickly to the Guardian newspaper. Now, the Guardian newspaper leads with 2027 as the kicker. Opposition coalition shops for candidate as APC mocks effort. You find details of our story on page 6. Saudi Arabia evicts 205,000 unauthorized pilgrims from Mecca. All right, that one is on page 2 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Forum appeals for relocation of Giwa barracks as IEDs kill 9 in Borno State. You find that one on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Arewa grieves over Niger flood disaster and also Kano accident. All right, you find details on page 30. Economy not in crisis, says presidency as Afenifere rates Tinubu low. Economy not in crisis, says presidency as Afenifere rates Tinubu low. Details on page 3. And I see this one right here on page 7. Mother allegedly hires thugs to beat vice principal for confiscating son's phone during WAEC exams. All right, that's on page 7. And subscribers lament as fiber courts disrupt services nationwide. I mean, this is more or less the reason why we're having a downtime this morning. I hear this is like a general trend as we speak. Sometime last week, I don't want to mention the service provider now, the net provider, but the network just went off just like that abruptly, and I can't even help but imagine how it has actually impacted, people and their businesses. All right. Anywho, you find details of our story on page 5. ECOWAS at 50, a legacy at a crossroad. All right. That's an editorial, and you find details on page 12 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. I'll leave it there for the Guardian. The Vanguard newspaper is up next, and I see this one. It says federal government's gas-powered vehicle scheme runs into major hitch nationwide. Federal government's gas-powered vehicle scheme runs into major hitch nationwide. Okay, 785.6 billion naira investment threatened. 785.6 billion naira investment threatened. Now, this has 3 riders underneath that headline. The first one says refuel stations, conversion centers, other facilities grossly inadequate. The second rider says CNG buses, other equipment rot in parking lots. Current pain is temporary. Presidential CNG initiative. All right, you find details of all of that on page 19 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. 50 killed, 15 parishes shot by armed herders in Makurdi. 50 killed, 15 parishes shot by armed herders in Makurdi diocese. Catholic priests talking there. You find details on page 13. This is another sad development, honestly, in recent times in Benue State. All right. And I see this one right here. It says APC primaries, Amechi gave Tinubu dose of his own medicine. Shoyinka talking there. And Nigeria, 6 others affected as Saudi Arabia suspends block work visa. Details on page 8. And debt burden is the kicker. No sin in borrowing. Presidency talking there. I mean, for a number of Nigerians who have always expressed their reservations with the rate of borrowing in Nigeria, the presidency is saying, look, it is not a sin, to borrow. World economies, they actually borrow money, right? So it's not a sin, it's not out of place when we also do same in Nigeria. All right, Dangote Refinery symbolizes hope for Africa. ECOWAS is the one saying that. You find details on page 5. 2027 is the kicker. Tinubu should not play God. Sule Lamido talking there. That's on page 14. WAEC is the kicker. Thugs hired by parents assault vice principal for preventing cheating in Ondo. Details on page 6. And then federal government orders employee compensation scheme for civil servants. Details on page 9. And I think that is going to be about the size of the headlines I will be taking across Nigerian newspapers this morning with commercial break. When we return, I'll quickly open the studio lines, or let me just hand down the lines so that when we return from the break, you can call in on 090-7353-0044 or 090-8766-8888. And please, because we're having a downtime, we might not be able to take voice notes from you, so it's going to be strictly phone calls. Do join us again after this time out.
Abuja, you're in luck. It's the upgrade promo from my Abuja Home Limited. For their Broadwater estate and plots in Gwagwalada, get 250 square meter for just 700k when you make an outright payment. That's a whopping 81% discount, or go premium with 500 square meters for only 1 million naira. That's 80% of the original price of 5 million naira. With our authentic FCT land document, you have no issues at all. We have a flexible payment plan for up to 12 months for your convenience. Get your land in Broadwater Estate, Paiko, Gwagwalada now, with green environment, accessible roads, power supply, guaranteed security, and lots more. Call or WhatsApp my Abuja home on 0808 883 7426, 0808 883 7426, or 0808 272 3824, 0808 272 3824. Hurry now, promo ends soon. These opportunities also open to military personnel. My Abuja Home Limited. Affordable. Live the life.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
As global financial markets continue to evolve, investments and online trading are now more accessible than ever before. With a daily trading volume of more than $5 trillion, the foreign exchange market is the most liquid in the world. As a multi-asset broker specializing in Forex, international stocks, and CFDs trading, Key to Markets gives you immediate access to the financial markets, enabling you to trade hundreds of instruments with just a single click. At Key to Markets, we make no compromises in your trading experience. As a true ECN broker with no dealing desk, we've empowered traders since 2010, delivering transparent pricing and lightning-fast execution on every trade. Join the winning team now at keytomarkets.com by sending a text to 070-680-11680. Key to Markets, trading at your side.
Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for staying in tune to this dial. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Well, I'm here with some information that could make your day a little better. So you would do well to pay close attention to what I am here right now to talk about. I am not alone. I won't be talking about this alone. I've got a guest with me in the studio. His name is Mr. Abiola. He's a good friend and he always has good information that you would find very useful. You're welcome, Mr. Abiola.
Thank you so much.
It's great to have you.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Yes, so we're here to talk about Key to Markets. Let's just start with an introduction. Tell us what Key to Markets is all about.
Okay, first of all, let me at least say my full name. My name is Abiola Adekunle. I'm the head of African business for Key to Markets. Key to Markets is a commodity CFD brokerage firm. We have been around for about 15 years. In short, this is exactly our 15th year because Key to Markets was founded in 2010. Key to Markets, like I said, is a brokerage firm. By the definition of brokerage, we're talking about a middle entity between two other entities. For example, if you say somebody is a property broker, you are talking about him standing between the clients and, for example, the landlord. Okay, so Key to Market provides a platform for those that want to trade the liquidity markets, okay, so that they can access more than 1,000 assets, digital assets that we have on our platform. In a nutshell, this is what Key to Market is.
Okay, that was a brief overview of what it's all about. But then I would imagine that there's a specific reason why, we're having this conversation in this context. Okay. So let's just get to that real quick.
Okay, Key to Market is new in Nigeria, but we are not new globally. Like I said, we are 15 years old. The reason why we are here in Nigeria is to offer an opportunity for people to be able to access liquidity, digital assets on our platform. What I mean by this is that people that want to trade things like the price of gold, the price of silver, the price of commodities like soya beans, cocoa, the price of international stocks. We're talking about things like the price of Facebook shares, Google shares, Tesla shares, and so on. We want to trade currencies, Euro USD, pounds, all those things. These are all on our platform, and that is why we are here in Nigeria, to give an opportunity for people to be able to access this. We are not only here for you to access it, we are also here to educate you on how to access and be successful while doing so.
That's wonderful. Now, investment is one word that we hear a lot, and it can literally make or break people. But you are an expert. You've been in the field for a long time, and you have been successful. 16 years. That's a decade and a half plus, right? You have been successful as well. So you can have, authoritative say when it comes to this thing. So what would you say is the future of investment?
Okay, before we can talk about the future, we have to talk about the past, because the future is a comparative analysis of what the past is, the present, and what we hope to come. Now, how did we invest before now? A lot of investment were going into farming, into physical goods, buying and selling of crops. These days you see a lot of people invest in things they cannot see. So the future of investment is very close to what we can see presently. For example, if you look at the Forbes list, you'll find out that the top 10, top 15, top 20 guys on the Forbes list, I'm talking about the richest men in the world, are people that have businesses in what we refer to as intangible objects. Okay, look at Facebook, look at Twitter. You cannot really grab and say this is Twitter in my hands, but you can grab and say this is yam, this is rice, So the future of investment has to do more with people investing in the digital space, understanding how digital assets work, and at the end of the day, making some form of profit from it. So we cannot continue doing things the way it has been done in the past, because times are not changing. Times have changed already.
That is very powerful. Time changing. So if you're still thinking, oh, times are changing, you are wrong. Times have already changed. Ask China. They have 10G now.
Are you serious?
They have 10G now. They recently launched
Wow.
it. So times have indeed changed. So how can one join Keto Markets?
Okay, it's very simple. Just take your phone right now and send us a text. And once you send us this text, we're going to call you, we're going to register you, we're going to give you more information on how you can actually be a part of Keto Market. Now, let me quickly bring out this caveat or warning. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. We don't trade for people. We don't offer such services. We only give a platform for you yourself to do the trading. Okay, so bring out your phone and send the text message. You can say KTM, which is a short form for Keto Markets. KTM to 070 680 11680. I'll call the number again. 070 680 11680. I'm going to reach back to you and give you more information on how you can start making baby steps, becoming part of a successful company.
Who can access your services?
Just two qualities. Number one, you have to be above 18, meaning that you have to have gotten to the age of decision. And secondly, if you want to make money.
It's that simple. It's that simple. And I am sure each and every one of us fall into the second category.
Well,
at least
I know about
the
you and
second
me.
category. Exactly, I am sure. So it's up to you now. Just to wrap it up real quick, I'll just let you speak final words in about 1 minute.
Now, apart from education, apart from platforms to trade on, Keto Market offers a whole lot of services. For example, we have what we call copy trading. Copy trading has to do more with you not either knowing how to trade, but you want to be part of this, or some people say they don't have time, they are too busy with their work. We already have sets of expert traders from all over the world that are trading on our platform. So by copy trading, I mean that you can actually fund your account and copy the professionals. You don't need to do any form of trading. You just need to copy them. As they are trading, your account is also trading. Apart from that, we also have education, online, offline. Also, we have what we call Palm account. It's a whole lot of services. What would do you good right now is to send a text to 070 680 11680 and we can have a proper conversation. You can also visit our website on keytomarkets.com. That is keytomarkets.com. Markets is plural. Keytomarkets.com, and you can register an account there or contact us from there also. Thank you.
It's very simple. Send KTM as a text message to 070 680 11680. That is 070 680 11680. Thank you very much, Mr. Adekunle Abiola.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. So it's up to you now to jump and run with this information that you have just gotten and change your life for good. Till I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.
No stress, no wahala. Your money they work for you, they go. Keto Markets copy trading go show you how to follow ogbonge traders we don't pay for the matter. So now to just follow the experts, make them show you road. One click, bakam, and you go start to follow who you like. And as them they trade, your account self go they trade. Full autopilot. So whether you sabi trade, abi you no sabi trade, no worry yourself at all. Just follow who no road for on top Keto Markets copy trading. Keto Markets they here. We go help you stand tall. Follow Hulo Road. Message us for 070 680 11680 to join us. KetoMarkets.com. We there for you.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I suppose it was inevitable. Eagles 102.3.
All right, dear listener, welcome back from that commercial timeout. Thank you all so much for staying with us. And if you're just joining us, this is the Eagles Morning Rise Breakfast Show live on Eagles FM 102.3, your radio experience that you can always count on. It's it's the pages, right, or the newspaper review. And at this juncture, our studio lines are open. They've been buzzing. And just to let you know also that you can now send in your voice notes and messages to the WhatsApp portal, because I think we are back online on 090970544 and as always, dear listener, please when you call in, stay civil, avoid the use of vulgar or obscene language, stick to the headlines making the rounds this morning. All right, and if you must lay claims, please do well to ensure that those claims can actually be fact checked and even substantiated. Thank you very much. Good morning to you. Hello, good morning. All right, that was a miss. Please do it to call back. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Moses.
Moses from Suleja.
Right, good to have you this morning.
Wonderful. Time allotted to the callers is too short now. Let me just rush up.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, case file against NNPCL over 500 billion naira. You see, just within October to what you say, within October last year, these monies are unaccountable.
That's between October and December of last year.
And December, look at Omoife. You see how our Nigerian monies are just going without accountable, and the president is saying that it is no longer it is not a sin to borrow money from external debt. That does not mean we are not condemning borrowing money, but the accountability of this money that you borrow, that is what Nigerians are concerned about. If NNPCL cannot give us an account of 500 billion naira, we will be accountable on this money. So you know how this money being brought to this country without proper monitoring. Nigerians are the target of terrorists. Imagine, why are they targeting Nigerians? It's a great concern. Over 700 companies closed down within 2023. Our economy is in danger. Over 700 companies closed down in the year 2023. We need intervention in this country. Okay, let me just raise my case here.
All right.
And the last one, federal government is to give over 7 million prepaid meter, you say?
Yes, we're going to be discussing that at the 9 o'clock hour. I encourage you to join us at that time. All right?
Well, we pray that meter be monitored because of corruption, a corrupt society we are.
Okay.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Moses. Hello, good morning to you.
Omoife, the princess of our time.
Oh.
I greet you.
Good morning, sir.
This Apostle Osola from Apu, Damanga's Apu.
Okay.
So, yes, the ECOWAS activity. The last time I checked is that they are not giving us a result. The aim of the ECOWAS is to be checkmating those countries that is with them. There are some, when we notice that ECOWAS is in existence, is that when a military trade the government, you will see ECOWAS coming out and saying no, this is wrong. But when the government of the country is not performing, every time killing, every time the farmers cannot access their farm without paying a dam to the kidnappers. The ECOWAS cannot say anything. When our people are running helter-skelter, killing every time, ECOWAS will not keep silent until if another thing wrongly happens before ECOWAS will come. That's one apart. Another one I want to say, is this. This NDLA, they are trying, but they have to try more. Our market and our park have become a den of drug abuse of young boys. How I wish they will step up, and at times they go to park and checkmate all those people abusing drugs in a wrong way.
Okay.
It will go a long way.
All right.
Thank you and God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Apostle.
Apostle Osola,
Walking away.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and also calling our attention to the fact that some of the markets, have suddenly become a hideout or even a den for, drug abuse right here in Nigeria. We are hoping that the NDLEA would actually beam, its searchlight on these areas. And you all know that we have a program, all right? It's called Abuja Now. We always encourage you, dear listener, to call us and report whatever it is that is going on within and around the nation's capital. But some of you don't take advantage of that. I don't know why. All right, but we need to do better. Hello, good morning to you, Abdul. Hello. Okay, that's a miss. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name and where you're calling from?
I'm good. God bless you. God honor you. God elevate this radio station.
Amen.
And God should adequately add more work, resilience, and also work, charisma to Bible barrister. Oh God, this is Dr. Prince Akandela. I'm coming from Canada.
All right.
This movement will bring joy to each and every one of us, Nigerian citizens. God bless us. What I just want to talk is this. Are you media to contribute the families that have lost their lives in that, insignificant, auto crash? People that are returning from what National Sports Festival from Ogun State to their nearby disease community in Kebbi State. About 22 of them. Please let one of my given first to be an irreversible loss. But the other way around is closely irresponsibility of our government by not fixing our roads. What does it take? All this money that have been, floating here and there, flying here and there, in the hands of politicians, and it can be enough to fix the Nigerian road so that we are going to have, so that we will not be dying like chickens. Understand me? After all, insecurity is another way. People lost their lives because of the basic feeling of people in a benefit. I don't know what Nigeria has come to be. Are we still in Nigeria where there is high sense of tranquility, peacefulness, one that cannot of the president with high sense of brotherhood? Are we still in this country? In fact, that people can only hear the can keep their number. The Senate of Brussels.
Okay, Dr. Prince Ike, please wrap up your thoughts because of time.
I'm begging to go back to why the person of authority in the nation. Please, we are not.
Are you there?
Look.
Are you there, Dr. Prince Ike? Okay, I don't know, but I'm afraid I will just have to let you go. The reception is a bit poor from your end, but I'm sure you've been able to pass your message. All right, 09087668888 or 09073530044. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you. What's your name?
I'm Chimezie calling from Asokoro.
All right, good to have you, Chimezie. Please go ahead.
Yeah, the worst kind of sinner you have is somebody who does not repent. I used to say that continuous borrowing without results is no sin. It's unfortunate we have such leaders in this country. It's really very unfortunate. You borrow and keep borrowing until tomorrow you will borrow, and yet nothing is being shown. Imagine commissioning 30 kilometers of road out of 750 kilometers. People are clapping for you. Clap for what? Then you go and show us the jointed figures like the minister I call Charity Begins Abroad Minister. So I pity President Tinubu in all honesty because we don't expect him to be all places. But he has people that are terrible liars around him. People that are selfish and think only about themselves and their pockets. Okay, look at the president coming to tell us that insecurity has reduced. Where has it done? Now it's a situation where you see people being slaughtered. Blood is blood, red in color, not green or yellow. Okay, 50 killed in Benue again. I blame the Benue State people. I blame them sincerely because what we used to hear about them being warlords are nothing but feeble old folk stories. Now I'm realizing that animals being slaughtered every day in Nigeria, 50 animals are killed, no longer humans, and yet nothing is being done. I keep telling them that there's an agenda, but they don't want to open their eyes. Reverend Fadalia, drop your tallies, take up the gun, defend your people. Enough of all these false stories, please.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chimezie, for your contribution. I mean, speaking with so much passion, looking at what is going on in Benue State at the moment, it's really a very disturbing trend, no doubt. But, well, if there's going to be some lasting solution or solutions, as it were, to all of these issues, right? Let's quickly head on to the WhatsApp portal now to see the contributions that we have here. I see this message from Samuel. Samuel from Kuje says, good morning to you, my sister. I'm just going to stand on the existing protocols, right? It says, any sector that is functioning well in this country, check at the person who is heading the sector. General Buba Malwa has been an outstanding individual in this country. May God continue to protect him and his men from the hands of these evil syndicates. The network providers in this country are not giving us good services with all the increase in tariff, yet nothing to show for it. Yes, it is not a sin to borrow, but when the money borrowed are not used for the purpose of borrowing or borrowing it, what do we call that? The president should answer the question. My sincere condolences to the families that lost their lives or loved ones in Kano accident, and may God comfort and console them. We say amen to that. Thank you so much. It says, Happy New Month, Princess Adeze. Thank you so much, Samuel from Kuje. I see this one, Angedeman Austin from Angwa Damuna, Sarawak State says, it is a fact that parents are aiding and abating examination malpractice in our schools and other social vices in the society today that have snowballed into a high level of moral decadence in the society today. Imagine that mother hiring thugs to beat up an invigilator, the principal, in an exam simply because they this is the phone or son's handset and prevented the son from using the phone in the exam hall. What future leaders are we breeding? Indolent and irresponsible ones, if I may say. Okay, Mano, you might be right. All right, Joseph Jojo from Piakasa says, good morning, Omoife. It is not bad to borrow money. Yes, I agree with the presidency. Where it is bad to borrow is not accounting for it. All the ones that have, been borrowed before, can the presidency account for them? Election is near, so I'm not surprised they want to borrow. Joseph Jojo from Piakasa. Okay, if you say so. I see this one here. Lion Boy from First Generation Estate in Lokogoma says, good morning, Omoife. This country is funny. Don't you think so? Our president went to commission uncompleted road. What a country! The presidency should keep borrowing. I am leaving this country soon. I can't be paying for what some criminals borrowed and looted. Lion Boy, you're leaving the country soon. To where? Do you think that would actually make things better? All right, Turkin Bihundu says, good morning, Ife. Writing us from Nasarawa State, ECOWAS has failed as a regional body or bloc for West African countries. Thank God for some West African countries that have left. The member countries are facing a lot like insecurity, rigging of elections, cash and carry judiciary, politicians stealing public funds, etc. Without ECOWAS doing nothing. I sympathize with the sportsman who died in Kano accident. Turkin Bihundu indeed. Thank you so much for that message. And I see this voice note. This should be from... Okay, let's go take a listen to it first. But I just hope that you mentioned your name and location. Good morning.
Excellent morning. Peace on my face. Trust you had a wonderful weekend. My name is Eric from Wusetu. Parents, I had talked to go beat up a vice principal who caught their word, cheating in the exam hall. He already said it all. High level of moral decadence. And that is what we're experiencing in our society at large, across the sphere. Okay, look at the politicians, the set of the crops of politicians we have in this country. That's why when you see that they are being accused or arrested for corruption, embezzlement, you even see them hiring lawyers to defend all of these, shameful attitudes. That's why you actually see them resign from office when they are being accused of corruption, because the society is so bankrupt in terms of moral. That's why when Triple T comes online to say we'll get it right someday, I laugh. Even I try to stay strong and optimistic. But the question I want to ask people is, what are we doing consciously and deliberately to get this country better? I think that is what we should be asking ourselves. Albert Einstein said, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. So we need to, to just, I don't know, honestly, I like what this morning. But I just pray this country will get better. Honestly, it's a matter of being hopeful now. Honestly, thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you very much, Eric. I encourage you to stay hopeful. All right. Things will get better someday. Okay. All right. I really do not think we can take more calls or even messages because of time. I'd like to say a very big thank you to you, dear listener, for being part of the pages or the newspaper review segment of the Eagles Morning Rise, the breakfast show, right? FM 102.3 Abuja. The next hour, Vicky Vic will be right here to bring you up to speed with the latest happenings in the world of sport. I'm sure he has a lot up his sleeves to dish out to you this morning. All right, and that's going to be just that's less than 3 minutes from now. And of course, I will be back at exactly 9 a.m. this morning to look at a very topical issue. It looks like the federal government is all geared up to help Nigerians move past this era of estimated billing, because there have been concerns over time. Oh, the estimated billings, it is outrageous what people are being forced